Today we're looking at a painting by modern Russian Impressionist Bato Dugarzhapov. And I love this painting, and I want to tell you why. You might think I love it too, and not know why. So let's dig into the elements and figure it out. The elements of art, line, shape, value, color, texture, and form, guide our painting process and guide the analysis of every painting we look at. And really, for me, they guide everything I look at in life. So once you know the language of art, it becomes the lens of the way you see the world. So first, let's start with line. And what did he do with line in this painting? I see a lot of soft lines. There are a couple hard lines, which I think is an important thing to point out. Look at all these soft lines in there. And even the lines in the sand and in the contrasting area of the water versus the foam of the water is not highly dramatic. This is an interesting line right here, which is different than the rest of the painting. And I think it adds something that if it wasn't there, it might feel a bit unanchored. So I like that small little different part of the painting with some sharp edges there that indicate some sort of structure. Shape. Shape is super simple, right? Look, here's some shapes. That's about it. So very simplistic in the shapes. Obviously, the artist was not going for a very detailed look at shape. Now here's where it gets really interesting, and that is value and color. What do you notice about the values in this painting? The values are very close. They're all a mid-value range, and they're all super close. So let's look at the painting in black and white, and you can see that, again, this little structure, your eye goes there, doesn't it? Because it's so different than the rest of the painting. Everything else has got these beautiful soft edges and values, and this is this little small anchor, which is very clever. Now, this is really hard to do. If you've ever done a painting and not really thought about it, and it all came out mid-values, and you look at it and go, it looks blah. There are little things like adding this in here and using color, and that we'll talk about in a minute, and that all add up to why a painting works like this. It's very sophisticated, and it's how the Impressionists painted. A sign of an Impressionist painting is a mostly mid-values painting. The colors do the work, and this is not easy. There are subtle value relationships here, and it works. The colors are pretty much warm versus cool, right? We got cool and warm. So the chroma isn't really an issue here, although there is lower chroma areas in the painting, even in the sky, but it doesn't play a big role here. It's mostly higher chroma colors with all those beautiful soft edges. It's the warm and cool play that is the contrast, that is the tension in the color, and of course the use of just gorgeous greens and blues and pinks and oranges that is just so appealing. Texture. Is there texture in this painting? You bet. There is lots of energetic brushwork in this painting, and it almost feels random. It almost feels like he must have painted this in 10 minutes. And you know what? He might have. I've seen Bato do a demonstration before, and he is very quick, but I think he's just that quick because he's so experienced and knows what to do. He is well into the intuitive phase of his artistic journey. He can be quick, and it's quite effective, and the energetic brushwork does a lot to enhance the feeling of the painting, because we haven't talked about that yet, but I think that his intention for this painting is exactly that, is a feeling. It is the atmosphere of this hazy, sunny beach day. It is not a fun family beach day. You don't see people in here. You don't see umbrellas in here. He knew what he was going for, and he only painted that, right? So we'll talk about that in a minute too, because that's really important in why this painting works. It's the structure that makes the painting make sense, right? He's got the controlled values, the very limited palette, warms and cools, the simplified shapes, the soft, beautiful, buttery edges of all of the colors, and the really purposeful, energetic brushstrokes. So, is all of that on purpose? Yes, it sure is. He did this by simplifying the painting. He did this by choosing what to do. There's so many things that we can put into a painting, but the way that you figure out which of those hundreds of things to do in your painting is with your intention. And his intention was that atmosphere or feeling of a hazy beach day, right? So that's why he didn't put sharp-edged people to draw our eye away from the feeling of this scene. And so a key to a good painting is to take all those hundreds of choices and create a structure from them, right? A structure that makes choices about what elements you're going to use, you're going to focus on in your painting to have the viewer understand your intention. And that's really what it's all about. Love this painting, love this artist. Look him up. He's a modern Russian impressionist. He is a very active painter today, and you could find lots about him online. And check out one of those quick demos because those are really fun to watch. Hope you enjoyed it.